there, my name is Dan, and I am driving Zoe. Here, my guest today is David Taylor. I gotta tell you something, I spent 2 years on the ship with David Taylor, and he ended up becoming one of my main coaches in life, and I love the way he thinks. And so today, I want to talk to you about observe your fear.
Wow.
Are you into that?
I'm up for this. Hey, everybody.
Good. David, where are you from?
I'm from England in the UK.
Okay. I want you to tell us a story of a time when you were afraid.
I mean, there's lots of times when I've been afraid. One story that has come up recently was how there's a slide. I can't even remember where I was. I was about 8 years old, and it's called the Death Slide. And really, you climb up. Death Slide. That's what it might have been. That's what I remember, or maybe what I just felt. But you climb up, and everyone was having loads of fun, and it's a vertical slide that levels out like that. And so I sat at the top, looked down, and sort of thought, and all these kids either side of me, they're going down. And then I was like, no, I'm not doing it. So I walked back down the steps and got to the bottom. And my dad was there waiting for me. And he said, oh, I saw you didn't do it. Like, how come you didn't do it? And I sort of went, well, it was very scary. You know, it's a vertical drop. I don't want to experience that. And he said, well, because you are scared, you have to do it.
Oh, my.
So I climbed back up the stairs, sat at the top, and just went for it. And I didn't die.
You didn't die?
I didn't die, no.
Oh. So what did you learn from that experience?
I think one of the things that I draw out of that is that trying to face your fear on your own can be quite a difficult thing. Sometimes you need someone to go, no, you can do this. You're capable of doing this. And look, all those hundreds of other children, they're not dead either.
Yeah. So how do you step back, David, and observe your fear? What is the process you go through to identify those things in your life?
So I'm quite reflective. I journal at the end of every day. So stuff that comes up, why am I feeling this way? Maybe it's because I'm afraid of this. I'm afraid of failing this project or letting somebody else down around me. So yeah, the journaling, the reflection, those meditation times are quite important.
And once you pinpoint this is a fear, what do you do about it?
I think a lot of the time, just in noticing it, like it loses its power over you a little bit. To go a lot of the time, not all the time, but some of the time it does. Basically, go, oh, that's what I'm afraid of, but is that even true? And sometimes it's not true.
Truth.
Yeah.
So you look for truth in the fear.
Yeah. Because I think not even all fear is bad. You know, a bear comes at you, be afraid. That's going to help you. You know, that's a very present fear, and to be fearless is to be reckless, probably. So.
Yeah. You get these little signs, no fear. Yeah. I think that like stupidity. So tell me about a fear maybe you're dealing with right now. How are you processing something today?
So there's a verse in the Bible. I think it's 2 Corinthians 7, and it talks about how it's conflict on the outside and fear within. And I was or am in a conflict kind of, and it wasn't maybe the best conflict. And that whole concept of actually underpinning most conflict is some level of fear at a deeper level.
Oh yeah.
And only this morning was I reflecting and going, my fear was that if they carried on in this belief that they would hurt other people. And their fear was that, you know, you can't water down truth, and maybe that's what you're trying to do. And so that whole idea of sometimes we think we're talking about this, and actually there's this going on over here.
Yeah. That's good. So David, if you were coaching me through one of my fears, you are a great question asker, and I just want you to, what would be some of the questions you would ask me to help me dig down and discover and connect with that fear so that I can somehow let it go?
I think sometimes a good question is what advice would you give somebody else?
Oh.
You know, it's easy to give advice, and sometimes we don't take our own advice.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you were coaching somebody else in this, Dan, what would you be thinking they should do?
Ooh, good question. Good question. What else?
I think to get deeper is to explore how it's affecting your relationships. I think that's really significant. Like, when we're afraid, we strike out. We end up, I think, often hurting the people around us. So to explore that, like, when you feel this fear, what happens with your friendships, with your spouse, with your family, these sorts of things. I think that's a helpful thing to understand fully the impact these fears can have in our lives.
Oh yeah. No, that's really good. We're talking about flow in our course. How do you see fear connects to the flow of your life?
I think fear stops you from experiencing flow. I think flow is for example, like, there's a fear that if I don't do anything, you have the shush, the quiet, the stillness. If I don't do anything, then I'm not being productive. And that fear that underpins that, I'm not busy, I'm not doing something, will stop you experiencing flow. It's like, maybe this isn't the right thing. And so I think we have to, we have the opportunity to say, this is my fear, but actually, is that something that I want driving my life?
Oh, okay. So fear sometimes drives our life.
I think so, yeah. I think we've all gone through phases in our lives, seasons, maybe even longer than we'd like to realize, that are driven entirely by fear.
So we have a lot of people that are watching this. What is one bit of advice that you could give to someone that right now is dealing with fear?
So everyone at some point. Take the time to notice it. I think that it starts with just noticing.
Starts with noticing.
Right, observing. That's the word we want, isn't it?
Observing. Well, that's good. Well, David, I think we're at your house now.
Yep.
Thank you for helping us look at fear and observing it, realizing it may not always be the enemy, but it's something we need to observe.
That's true.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for coming.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You as well. Bye.